Georgie okay?
Yeah. Well, he's had a couple of games out, so he's had plenty of time to get over. That was just really unfortunate. It was on a Thursday. The 12-day protocol covers 2 games rather than just one. So yeah, that's just stiff. But yeah, he's good to go. So be good to have him back in the side.
How important is that? It seems like his lift in form a few weeks ago was such a big part of your contested ball profile, just skyrocketing.
Yeah, and but having said that, he missed last week, and that part of our game is still pretty strong. So we're just we're hoping it's a sort of blessing in disguise, really. That when players are available to play, they just keep playing. But sometimes young players, it's good that they have a break. You don't want to give them a break, but sometimes can be the best thing for them. So hopefully, he's got 7 games to go, and he can really see the season out strongly.
Great opportunity for these guys like Wardlaw against Sydney, who've been so strong.
Yeah, well, they're a benchmark side, aren't they? They've been on top of the ladder for the whole of the year, really. And despite dropping their last couple of games, they've been really tight affairs, and we've got a very, very high regard for the way they go about it, and the emergence of their young blokes. They're great role models for our young guys, really. So our youngsters get a chance to just look at the growth and development of the Sydney players who have just trodden their path in the last 3 or 4 years, and they now see themselves on top of the ladder, and that's where we want to be eventually. So great test for our boys today, or this week. Yeah.
Do you think the Swans, with their couple of losses, probably not at their best? Do you think they're a bit vulnerable, a bit gettable this week?
Probably the flip of that. I reckon they'd be smarting a bit, having lost two games on the bounce, and they're both close encounters too. So probably would have been better had they won. They're probably a little bit more vulnerable. But anyway, we can't control that. We just go up there and try to play our method as best we can. Try to negate a couple of the Sydney strengths, which are pretty profound, and see how we go.
Do you plan for Isaac Heaney to be there? And I guess what have you made of that? You're probably the team that affects second most after Sydney.
Yeah, well, I think we just got to plan for their best side, and that's in my view, despite the fact that the tribunal right at this point in time has said that he's out, we'll plan for their best side, and that's with him in it. So he's a high quality player, and has been really, really important to the way they've gone about it, and he's had his best season ever. So we'll plan with him in the side, and then if we get the call that he's not, then just got a pretty handy replacement coming into their side. Whether Isaac plays or not, then Mills is going to be playing, and if Isaac doesn't play, then probably Parker's coming in. So they got some great depth through the middle of the ground, and Adams played as the sub last week. So if Isaac doesn't play, then he'll probably play. So all we do know is we're coming up against a formidable midfield, no matter whether Isaac plays or not, and we've got to be our very best to be able to compete with them.
A renewed sense of confidence, Clarko, or was it already there the last couple of weeks? Just having got over the line in a close one, does that give the boys now an even further sense that what you've been building is starting to come to fruition and pay off?
Yeah, well, it's pleasing. The last 5 games since the bye, we've been in every game. Even the Doggies game, we didn't play very well against the Dogs. We lowered our colours to the Western Bulldogs midfield, which a lot of clubs have done, but they've been such a high quality midfield for a long time, the Dogs. But we're still in the game. Even late, missed a couple of goals that could have got us a little bit closer. But all 5 of the games that we've played have been tight affairs, and that's what's really pleasing for us. I know we haven't won all those games, but we dropped a couple of games against Melbourne and Collingwood that were really close encounters, and so it was good for the spirit of the group. That another good side last week in Gold Coast. They had a lot to play for. They hadn't won away from home, so they were really keen to try and get that monkey off their back, and we were able to withstand the pressure of that in the last part of the game. So that was really pleasing. It was good to play in a game of footy too, which. With the Collingwood game, we got out and they pegged us back. With the Melbourne game, they got out and we pegged them back. And this game against Gold Coast was a couple of goals separated the sides for the whole of the game. So it was a real contest from go to woe. it was really good for our players to experience that and then still get over the line when they challenged late.
Heard a few players say the sort of the turning form has coincided with you being honest about how much pressure you've been under lately and how much it's affected you. Why did you feel it was important to sort of bear your soul to the group, and how do you feel it's affected them?
Well, listen, we all play in a tough caper, as we saw with what's transpired over in the West with Simo, and we're all vulnerable to the pressures of the game, and whether you're the coach of the side or you're the president of the club or whether you're captain of the side or whether you're a young player just coming in, it's a tough environment. It's elite level sport, but I don't think it's got anything to do with me in terms of where our form line's been over the last little while. We got the opportunity at the break to sit down and look at our form line over the first half of the year, and we just weren't defending the ground well enough, and we've made a couple of adjustments to be able to do that a little bit better, and that's had us in games a bit better. We've been able to compete for the ball a lot better, and that as that slowly builds, it gives us a chance to win games of footy. And but we got the most significant challenge of all this week. You got the top side on their home deck, and they're very, very hard to beat up there. So it'll be a really good test to see where we're at and see how much growth we have made over the last 5 weeks.
Nowadays, is being able to share things like vulnerability, trust in each other crucial, especially when you've got such a young group that you're going to have to steer through some difficult times. You being able to, I guess, sort of bear yourself, as Theo said, means that they probably feel more comfortable to be able to do that too.
Yeah, well, these guys, the players spend a lot of time together now, and that's part of the professional game, and they're all really, really strong mates off the field as well as on. So there's a lot of pressures with the game, and these are just young men, particularly our club. We got the youngest list in the competition, so. We need to have empathy for the challenges that they're going through. 18 to 22 years age in particular is a hard path to navigate, whether you're playing AFL footy or not. But it just compounds and complicates it even more when you are playing AFL footy and you're expected to beat your very best in every facet of your life. So those challenges you confront with the game, but our boys have handled themselves pretty well in that space.
I think you missed the Swans game last year, so you get a chance to renew your rivalry with your old sparring partner Horse. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah. Listen, Horse and I go a long way back to the days where we used to run around Arden Street here. So he's been a great player of the game, but a terrific coach as well. So and a great friend of our family. So listen, a little bit like the link with the Hardwicks and the Fagans and the Longmires, and one bit the dust yesterday in terms of Simo. Great people in the game, and I know we're rivals in terms of both wanting to try to secure a victory, but the game goes a bit beyond that in terms of these friendships, and that's what Simo was talking about yesterday. Know that right at the present time it's tough to endure, but the experiences and the relationships he's built up with people in the industry over the long time he's been involved in the game is testament to the character of the bloke and his family, Nicky and the kids. It's a great thing about being involved in AFL footy is you've got these networks. Yeah, there's a rivalry in the competition, but there's a lot of great people in this game.
You see him back in and around coaching fraternity again soon?
Yeah, well, I think like all of us, when you first remove yourself from it or get removed from it, the best thing is just let the dust settle for a little while, and you're just in so much overdrive, especially in season. So he and Nicky and the kids will just have a spell for a little while, and then I think he's on record as saying Nicky wanted to kick him out of the house after a day. So not sure how long he's going to last, but he'll get back involved in footy, I'm sure, at some point in time, and it'll be a real asset for the game if he does continue to be involved.
Just Zach Fisher, is he available to play against this one?
Yeah, we've got a few guys that are coming back. Will Dawson's available to play. Griff Logue is coming back from that knee. Obviously Zach. A couple of other lads too. So our list and Availability of players is pretty strong for this time of year. So yeah, we'll sit down this afternoon and work out what our side is. But it's a good problem to have coming off a victory where you don't want to make too much change to your side, but you've got strong pressure from underneath, either players playing well at reserve grade level or guys coming back from injury. So we'll have some challenges with selection later on the Sabo.
And Father Sunday today, I saw Boomer around. Does he still reckon he makes the best 18?
Yeah, listen, I think he kicked 7 last week, didn't he, Boomer? Playing local footy, he's still playing, which is great because he had that horrible break of his leg last year. So a little bit like Simo, you just can't keep him away from the game. But yeah, that was it was terrific to get our father sons down here. You know, the quality of their dads we well know. But the sons coming down and having a muck around, and they joined in the start of our training session with our players, and it's pretty special. There's a real buzz amongst our current players. You know, these legends of the club who have come down here with their sons, and then the excitement on the dads' faces when their sons are out there running around and hopefully forging a path somewhere in the future like their fathers did. So that's special across all clubs, but I was really pleased that our club did it particularly well today.
Any likely types in a couple of years, Clarko?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of lads like Swatter's young fella and Andrew Dimitro's young bloke. You know, they're sort of 15, 16, 17 years of age. So they're 1, 2, 3 years away from the opportunity of getting drafted to a club, whether that they're eligible for father son here or whether it's elsewhere. So that's really exciting for them. You know, they're kids that love the game. In particular, these lads, they love the club because their dads played here. So it was a special day for our club.
Just if you'll indulge us, the AFL's close to locking in its grand final entertainment, and it's reported to be Katy Perry. Do you have a favourite Katy Perry song?
No, my daughters would though. But no, I'm more of a Springsteen fan. So, but hopefully they can get the boss somewhere in the next couple of years before I tip off the perch.
You've had a few experiences on grand final day. Can you remember a best and worst? Or do you even get to see the entertainment?
Well, no, you're usually down in the bunker. But I can recall the first game of the year. I reckon it was about 1997. Geelong played Melbourne, MCG, and Hunters and Collectors played three pretty special songs. Holy Grail was one of them, and I can recall that because we were all deep in the dungeon of the change rooms, but we could hear them belting out these songs. It was a great atmosphere. Didn't help the Demons. The Cats beat us by about 15 goals that night. But yeah, it's listen. They've done that really well for a long period of time. All sports right around the world, but the AFL have done it particularly well. And I think it'll be a special day for all Australians. Grand final day again.
Thanks.
Good on you guys. Thank you.